Hi Sagittarius, welcome to your mid-August, I almost said September, 2022 General Tarot Update. It's Rena here. Um, yeah, there's going to be a full moon next week. I'm recording this on the 5th of August, and this is going to be on August 11th or 12th, depending on where you live in the world. And for Sag, this is going to fall in the third house, which is the house of communication. So it can be quite a time for things to come out. Hopefully not something that you've been keeping secret that you suddenly blurred out. But, Sag, I'm a Sag. I know that we put our foot in our mouths sometimes. But no, this can just be news that you hear. The third house can be relatives like your siblings, and maybe you hear something about them or from them. And then also neighbors. This can be some kind of news about them, some kind of endings that have a local connection of sorts. And maybe you're finishing some kind of training, or you get word about, or a writing project, or you get word about some kind of a job that involves teaching. That's always a possibility. So let's just see what the cards say here. Okay. Okay, let's see. All right, perfect for Sag. Three of Wands. Awesome. Very positive card. Okay, so let's look at this central theme here. Five of Pentacles. Well, this can be this sense of lack consciousness. I did get this for Leo. I think I got, both of those cards. But I got it in different positions. So Five of Pentacles, some Sagittarius may be unemployed or underemployed, and money may feel tight for you. And this is something that Sag, let's face it, we like to have money not out of greed, but that so we don't have to think about it. And you know what that really relates to is Sag's love of freedom. So if you are in a situation where you feel like a little bit pessimistic about your finances, or even if you have enough money, you may exaggerate your situation and act like it's a really bad thing that's going on, because you are coming from this place where maybe you have lost your sense of gratitude for some reason, or you're comparing your situation to other people's, or a prior situation that you had where you may have had more money coming in, and you are just kind of looking at it from that lens. You have to really flip the script. You have to, and it does take work. I am a believer of the law of attraction, but I think that some people take things too far, and I don't subscribe to anything 100%. So when I say the law of attraction, I'm really speaking about this idea of what do you feel is possible for you. And if you have been kind of like, maybe that you've had some hard knocks recently, Sag, and it's kind of made you a little bit jaded, that's normal. That's okay, because you can always change your attitude. And certainly, another thing that's, now that I think about it, is Saturn is in the third house for Sag. So while that can lead Sagittarius to think more practically, it can also lead Sagittarius to kind of be a little bit too earthbound in their thinking because, Saturn rules, well, it does co-rule Aquarius, but it also rules Capricorn, and we really associate Saturn with Capricorn. And it's very good for organized thinking, but on the flip side, it can cause a person to be very pessimistic sometimes because when something hasn't materialized, and that's what really Saturn is about, is that crystallization of something. But if it hasn't happened yet, the person can feel a sense of pessimism. And I'm not one of those people that believes in toxic, what's it called? Toxic positivity or anything like that. I think that we have to be very aware of what we're dealing with and not be, just those spiritual bypassing, I think you could call it too. But there's, it's like, I think sometimes we go from one extreme to the other, either too much of that, like a Pollyanna, or being, somebody who is completely, um, pessimistic about everything, cynical, the cynicism. There has to be a middle ground. The past position, the star card. So that really, I remember drawing the star card one time and feeling this sense of relief because it really does, it can represent that the person has gone through the ringer and they've come out the other end and they have hope restored. So I don't know about you guys, but I've had quite an intense, very intense few weeks. And ever since that full moon, it's almost like it activated that full moon in Capricorn. So the reason I'm saying this is that if you're like me and you've had something similar happen in your life, it's important to realize that these things are temporary, and they say this too shall pass. And to be that observer, not to get immersed in the drama, because, there's a lot of heavy stuff going on right now. Maybe not with you personally, but with people around you. And maybe you're here to kind of support them in some way, but it gets to be a little bit much sometimes because even if we consider ourselves aware of things at a deeper level, it doesn't mean that we are invulnerable. So this sense of hope and healing is coming over you, even though you have been through this season of pessimism and maybe even financial issues. Saturn in the second house, Saturn in the third house can lead to a mentality that it's like, I'll believe it when I see it. I mean, I'll believe it when I see it. So something has to be material for you to believe in it. And Dr. Wayne Dyer, the late Wayne Dyer, he had a book called I'll See It When I Believe It. So that's kind of what the star card represents. So it's just kind of a subtle difference, but you have to be the initiator, and you have to be able to start that process from the invisible realms, not from the physical realms. That's not where creation begins. The higher message is the strength card. And, it's funny, in this deck they have her as the half lion because this card is associated with Leo, which is a fellow fire sign. And of course, this is Leo season, so the sun is in that fifth house, but you might not be feeling all that playful if you've been going through a lot of things lately. But I would say, as a spiritual message, the Strength card is about cultivating that inner fire, which is really um, making you know that you are here for a reason, a, there's a purpose, and that there are seasons of your life. And when you are aware of who you are at the deepest level, none of these things that are occurring can truly move you. Because the Five of Pentacles, if somebody, let's say somebody has lost their job, for some people, it's kind of the inconvenience of the money, where they're thinking, okay, I have savings, but my savings are dwindling. And, every day I'm like, oh my gosh, my savings are going down. Whereas another person, they may see it as a loss of identity because they really invested their sense of self in what they did. And so that can be even more challenging because in addition to the money situation, then you also have the identity crisis. So I feel like with the Strength card that you are growing, and so you're not going to experience things in quite the same way, even if you have had a lot of challenges. And this is very important. So the Star card is being able to cultivate this sense of expectancy that things will be flowing for you before you know it if you're not experiencing that right now. What crosses you is the World card, and this is the last card of the Major Arcana. So anything that you have come to an end with, you may not have resolved everything. So this would be suggesting that you are ending one cycle and about to begin a new cycle, but you still have unfinished business. And that's okay, because that's something that you can finish. And maybe for some people, they don't know what that unfinished business is. So you have to just be curious, open, and waiting for the universe to take the lead to show you what this means. It may mean forgiveness for some people. It might be an emotional thing where you have held on to something, a grievance for a long time, and it's time to soften. It's time to let go. Maybe it has nothing to do with reaching out to that person. In some cases it might, but some cases it would not. It could be just an inner attitude that you have, that it's time to let go of. Maybe it's time to move. Maybe it's time to let go of a job or a career. I would say, with the Five of Pentacles, you may have already lost your job, but you're still clinging to that profession, even though it is kind of like an unstable type of profession where job losses are commonplace because, like how in banks they merge and stuff like that, because the banks can't sustain themselves. It doesn't seem like it's happening as much as it was in the past, but I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong about that. But it's that idea of moving forward and being able to see that a situation is no longer what you thought it was. And maybe it's a relationship too. That could definitely be it as well. What's coming in is the Queen of Cups, and this can be this sense of embracing your spiritual side, embracing your creative side. Both of these areas can be quite strong for Sag. Fire signs are creative. Sages are very connected to spiritual matters, and that can help you if you are experiencing this like Five of Pentacles vibe where you feel that you don't have what you want and you're not as optimistic right now about your options in life. And that means that you're going to have to go back to work. And I'm not talking about seeking employment. I'm talking about cultivating your inner life. And that's what I see with the Queen of Cups. And that's getting in touch with the feminine energy, which is passive. Sag is a masculine sign, so male or female, there's that element of the aggressive, of the go-getter, going out there, activity. Sometimes you have to engage in passivity. You know, when you think about that word passivity, you might have even kind of recoiled when I said that, because it seems like it's kind of like, I don't know, being lazy or being shiftless, like not doing anything. But in fact, you're not doing anything because you're listening. You're not doing the talking. You're trying to take in higher knowledge or wisdom, and connect with source energy, with your higher self, for guidance. The outcome is the Three of Wands, and this is a card. This is why I exclaimed that I was happy about this card, because this is about expanding territory. The number 3 is the number of abundance, and Wands is creativity, maybe expanding creativity in multiple directions, because you know that you have work to do, that there are things that you want to accomplish. They could be on the creative side, they could be entrepreneurial. This card can be about that, but it's like the fire in the belly for expansion. So don't get restricted by Saturn in your third house, because it can play tricks with you, Sag. It can make you think that you have to get your mind together in a way that's just get your life, because this is about thoughts, and you could just be using this measuring stick that's only about the material. And I think Saturn is retrograding, isn't it? So it's very possible that it's turning inwards even more so. And you're kind of, scrutinizing the way that you think, but sometimes that can be detrimental if there's not a sense of vision. So 3 of Wands is that sense of expansiveness. It kind of reminds me when Jupiter was in your third house. But now Jupiter's in your fifth house, and so it has that, to me, that's more of like 3 of Wands energy. Okay, that's what I have for you, Sag. I hope that this resonated. If you would like a private reading, I'm primarily an astrologer, so I do a lot of natal chart interpretations and transit readings, that kind of thing. But I do have a combination with the tarot if you'd like a personal tarot reading called the Whole Enchilada. I have like these package deals, 2 full-length readings at a reduced price. So check out my offerings at the link below. Take care. Bye.